Okay, let's see if we can do this today. You want to? A little heavy lifting intellectually, never hurt a soul. Not a soul. Plus, these aren't very long, so you'll live through it. Let's define, if we may, the fundamental principles of systems thinking. Hey, everybody, Todd Conklin, Pre-Accident Investigation Podcast. This is the safety moment for today. But if you listen to this tomorrow, it'll still be the safety moment for tomorrow. If you're listening to it years from now, because you somehow, I don't know, aliens invaded and they found this podcast and they're playing it for you as torture, it's still the safety moment for today. Today, we're going to talk about something that I think is, in essence, I guess it's kind of a little bit of a struggle. Is that right? I don't know if I'd call it a struggle, but it's a way to really think about the fundamental attributes of what systems thinking is. I'm not going to define systems thinking because you can look that up. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. But I want to give you some ways to think about it that help me. And where I really find these valuable is that they help people who are shifting the way they think from kind of a classic linear approach to the world to a much more complex adaptive approach to the world, moving from kind of Newtonian worldview to a more complex worldview, which is what we do for a living, no matter what you do. I mean, but that doesn't hang very well if you have that conversation in an elevator. So let's talk about it. What systems thinking does is it looks at the relationships between and among the individual parts of your system. Whereas more linear thinking looks at those individual parts. So you can kind of look at this two ways. The individual parts of your system are there, they exist, they're real, and traditional engineering approach, we would identify the broken individual part, fix or repair that part, and then turn the system back on, and it would work again. Sort of classic root cause diagnostics. The problem is, in complex systems, the failure modalities, the way systems fail, isn't at the individual part of the system. It's at the coupling between the two parts that are next to one another, or near one another, or interface with one another. And so when you think about what you do for a living, what you do is you look at the space between and among, that relationship between and among the individual parts of the system. Sometimes I've heard it said this way. You can look down and in, that's sort of classic linear looking, or you look up and out. That's more systems thinking. The relationship between and among the individual parts of your system, that's the part that matters the most. That's the safety moment for today. Learn something new every single day. Have as much fun as you possibly can squeeze into a small recyclable bag. And for goodness sakes, you guys, be safe. I'll miss you. Don't freak out. I'm not going anywhere. I'll just miss you. It'll be a couple days till we talk again, but I'll make it. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Take care of yourself. Don't worry about me.